Mega Clefable, a new Mega Evolution from Pokemon ZA that is available to VGC for the first time in Pokemon Champions. However, is there really a point of using Mega Clefable when we have access to Mega Floette as well as Mega Gardevoir? It kind of seems like a fairy left behind. Well, let's see if Mega Clefable can actually do well in VGC or if it's actually just a fairy tale. This is my Mega Clefable Sand team. We're going to be breaking down the team building process, then going over the individual members. Then we're going to also be talking about how to use the team. And then finally, we're going to be playing some games with it. Let's break it down. So let's start with the team building process. I started with the Mega because I am trying to use every single Mega Evolution, and I want to find a role that Mega Clefable could do. That's the Gardevoir and the Eternal Floette, which are more popular fairy type Mega Evolutions, can't do. So we have Mega Clefable here, and Mega Clefable is definitely an interesting Mega Evolution. When it Mega Evolves, it gets part Flying type, and it does get access to Air Slash new in Champion, so it gets the same type attack bonus in Air Slash as well. It also gets a pretty good boost to all of its stats in its defense, special attack, special defense, and speed, which is pretty solid, and is able to have a new ability, which is going to be Magic Bounce. Now, I do want to make a note. When I did design the team, I thought I kept Magic Guard, which was initially one of Clefable's abilities, because a lot of the Mega Evolutions did keep the same ability, which was an ability that just prevents the Clefable from taking any kind of chip damage from the non-attacking moves. So you'd actually be immune to taking sand damage, for instance. I thought it kept Magic Guard. It actually gets Magic Bounce instead. It's an ability that actually can reflect any of the status moves or non-attacking moves in some cases. So it can bounce back like Parting Shot. It can bounce back like Thunder Wave. Think about like all those kinds of moves. So yeah, I misread the ability on Clefable kind of badly. So that was something. So I had a suspicion I was just Magic Guard, but yeah, we're gonna roll with it. So Unaware Clefable, this was the idea. It was like, okay, I had Magic Guard when I Mega Evolve to be immune to the sand damage, and then I have Unaware for some certain situations where, hey, they can set up and I can ignore the boosts on their side because of the Unaware, which could be useful in some certain situations. And like against Swords Dance King Gambit, so the Clefable kind of just is able to wall it out. So that's kind of why I kept Unaware, because again, I thought I would have the Magic Guard. So that's the idea of having the Unaware on the Clefable. Then, okay, what does Mega Clefable do? I still think you want redirection with Mega Clefable. The difference between Mega Clefable as well as Eternal Float and Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir gets access to Trick Room, and also like Fairy Aura and Pixelate just boost the special attack of the damage output of their fairy type moves even further, which Clefable doesn't really get access to with its ability, and it's only raised 135 special attack compared to the others that also get the boost on top. So I think it needs to be a support Clefable, but why would you run support Clefable with the Mega Evolution compared to just like regular Citrus Berry, which we featured on the channel before? So I needed to kind of solve those answers. And in order to do that, I thought, okay, I'm going to pair it with the Excadrill. And I think Excadrill can be really cool, especially with the sand, as I mentioned before. I thought it was going to be Magic Guard Clefable. So I thought, okay, I could be immune to the sand damage. It could be really nice to be able to have her follow me redirect mon like Togekiss, because Togekiss Excadrill Tyranitar was actually a really good core, especially back in the older VGC days of like the Gen 5 days as well as the early Gen 8 days, and that was a pretty common core. So I thought like, okay, I think I could use this as like a Togekiss that's a bit more offensive and have a good general amount of bulk. So that was kind of the idea. I decided to go with like a Swords Dance Excadrill because I did want to try out Swords Dance Excadrill and see if it was actually going to be able to perform. A lot of players have been opting to run Rock Slide or High Horsepower on Sash Excadrill. I just felt like having Swords Dance on Sandrush Excadrill could be really neat because I can go for like Clefable next to Excadrill, set up Swords Dance, and then have Tyranitar, of course, in the back that could switch in. And I also have, again, multiple ways of being able to switch in Earthquake because I do have the Rotom and the Clefable. But I would have Rotom added later. I knew I would just wanted another immunity, but I thought that was a pretty good idea. And I also liked the Excadrill because it just has that steel typing. It's able to help out against Sneasler because with Sand, you are able to outspeed Sneasler. That's one Pokemon Clefable doesn't enjoy either. And of course, Clefable is nice because you're able to draw away the ground type attacks like Stomping Tantrum, as well as fighting moves that are super effective into Excadrill. So that was the idea behind it. Of course, in order to have Excadrill with Sandrush, you're going to need a Tyranitar, and that's why Tyranitar's on this team to help out against the Charizard Wise, set up the Sand for Excadrill, and more. Then the next Pokemon, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm going to need two Pokemon that one, I need one that's able to be immune to the Earthquake, because I want to have multiple Pokemon that can switch into Earthquake, especially if I don't lead Clefable or I don't Mega Evolve Clefable early. I want to have a Pokemon I can Earthquake next to without having to protect every time. So Rotom is going to enter the stage. Rotom Heat on Sand has been pretty common, and I liked the idea because I wanted a Pokemon that was especially good into Corviknight, and because of the fact that I was also like not having the greatest ice resists against Mega Frostlass, I want a Pokemon that could threaten the Corviknight and the Mega Frostlass. So Rotom Heat with the Choice Scarf can outspeed both of those threats and potentially knock them out with the Overheat, which is really solid here. So that was the idea behind Rotom Heat. It's also faster than Basculegion, which is nice because that could be a massive threat under certain situations. Having the fast Volt Switch, good into Charizard Y as well, is nice for the Weather War. It's able to outspeed Choice Scarf Basculegion, it's able to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl, it's able to Volt Switch before the Charizard gets the attack, and if it Mega Evolved, I get the Volt Switch, bring out the Tyranitar, activate the Sand, and then Dynamic Speed would mean Excadrill goes before with the Sand Rush and outspeed, which is actually pretty great. So that was the idea of adding Rotom Heat. I also wanted a Pokemon that was good against King Gambit, which can be still really scary to this team. So I wanted a Pokemon that was good into Basculegion, good into King Gambit, good against those kinds of cores, and I thought Como was pretty solid. It's also great against opposing Rotoms, which the team can't really hit for much damage and is pretty vulnerable to Rotomosh especially. So Rotomosh can't really touch Como, and we are able to set up again, which is pretty nice when I do have, again, redirection with the Clefable, and I do have Excadrill, because Excadrill plus Como is pretty nice pairing. You have the Steel typing to threaten the Fairy types, which Como doesn't appreciate, and Como can threaten the damage into Pokemon like the Garchomp, as well as be decently well into the Sneasler, because it takes close combat alright, which is nice for Excadrill. So yeah, we have this Como here, able to set up with the Clanger Soul and then threaten a ton of damage. Then Final Mon, I was like, okay, I still want an initial switch to close combat from Sneasler that doesn't risk me like losing on a Dire Claw situation. So I need something that's able to switch in. And I did want some overall good coverage, especially against ground types. And I thought Basculegion is probably one of the best Sneasler answers, but also it does provide all the roles that I did want. Of course, I can't run Choice Scarf on the Basculegion because I do have a Choice Scarf on the Rotom, and I thought, you know what? We're going to try a Citrus Berry Basculegion. It's pretty good at switching into Sneasler. It can take some attacks from like the Earthquake from Garchomp decently. So I thought, you know what? Basculegion just makes a ton of sense here. Having the Aqua Jet not be forced to like be able to be locked into a move is nice, and it still allows me to run Adamant and dish out a lot of damage, especially because hopefully with the early setup with the threats of the Excadrill doing a ton of damage or the Como, I could do a ton of damage to the team early, weaken some Pokemon, and then clean up with endgame Basculegion. So that was going to be the final 6 of the team. Now let's go over the individual Mons and why I made the set choices that I have. First Pokemon we have is going to be the Tyranitar, and this Tyranitar, of course, as you can see, it's a very bulky Tyranitar. We're not running Mega Tyranitar, so we are going to be running a Chople Berry to help it survive the fighting type attacks, because it does very much matter in the Charizard Y Weather War, and of course Rain as well. So we have max HP 26 defense on it, and this allows it to survive a close combat from max attack Adamant Sneasler, which I think is a very important calc. The rest is just going to go into attack with an Adamant nature, and then a little bit extra into special defense and speed, because why not? Overall, Tyranitar able to stick around, do some decent damage with the low kick, pretty good into a lot of things like Charizard Y, some Trick Room teams, Knockout to threaten the Basculegion, Rock Slide is able to threaten the Charizard, Incineroar and a few others, and low kick of course for the King Gambit especially. It is there to help set up the weather for our next sweeper. And that sweeper is going to be Excadrill, and we're going to be trying out Swords Dance Excadrill today. A lot of Excadrills tend to run like High Horsepower or Rock Slide. They don't run Earthquake nearly as much, but with this team, because of how I synergize it, I really want to try out Swords Dance Excadrill paired with Clefable and see if it has a place. So we have a max attack Excadrill because we are running Focus Sash to be able to survive any one hit. And for that, maximum attack makes the most sense. Max speed with Adamant. I don't really think there's any specific reason to run Jolly. I don't think Jolly helps out too much in this format. So I want as much power as I can for those Earthquakes and Iron Heads, especially to do as much damage, especially because there's a lot of bulky Sneaslers around that can live some Earthquakes from Garchomp, for example. So with the sand damage and Adamant nature, I should be able to KO every single Sneasler that we do encounter. And then Iron Head, of course, for those Floettes that can survive like Dire Claws. Again, a bit of sand damage, and hopefully Iron Head will guarantee the knockout from there. So we're going with maximum attacks Excadrill, and we'll see if Swords Dance Excadrill still can do work like it did in the old generations. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Clefable, and I misread the ability horribly when I built this team, but we're going to still try it out. So Clefable, very interesting. Why would you run Mega Clefable when we have access to Pokemon like Mega Floette as well as Mega Gardevoir? And it's really hard to justify Mega Clefable, I feel. It does get access to Flying type, and it got a new tool in Pokemon Champions with Air Slash. And when it's a Flying type, of course, same type of attack bonus for the Air Slash. Yeah, it's going to be pretty situational. And the thing is, I think Clefable is definitely more of a better support mon in this format, because when you have an offensive fairy, you probably just want to run it with Mega Floette and Mega Gardevoir, which do way more damage because of their higher special attack stats, alongside Fairy Aura for the Eternal Floette, and then Pixelate for Gardevoir, boosting their fairy type attacks even further. So yeah, Mega Clefable probably going to be more of a support to Mega in this format, but I actually don't think it's too bad after doing some of the calcs. It gets some pretty good defenses across the board. Its special attack is really solid. And with some investment, like the Modest that we're running here, because we don't have to run as much bulk like a regular Clefable, due to the fact that we do have access to the Mega Evolution bulking it up, we can run the special attack and it actually does some damage. So this Clefable, we have max HP to be able to take attacks, a good amount of defense, and then the 11 with Modest does allow this Mega Clefable to, one, Oko no bulk Garchomp, so I get to find out if it is a bulky Garchomp or not. And it also Okos no bulk Sneasler with Air Slash, which are actually some pretty annoying Pokemon to sand. So I felt like it was a pretty reasonable bring here. And I did want to try out Air Slash on Clefable because I found out it got access to it in Champions. So yeah, the only thing is a little bit of extra speed in order to potentially speed creep some stuff after Electroweb, including some Incineroars, so I can get a Moonblast off or Air Slash before. But otherwise, yeah, Mega Clefable does get access to the Magic Bounce, and I thought it was Magic Guard this entire time. I misread the ability when I looked over Mega Clefable, because I thought like, oh, I could be ignorant of the sand damage when I Mega Evolve, and I can also have the unaware ability before in case of certain setup situations. No, that's not the case. It is Magic Bounce, so I take it for you will. I didn't notice some of the sand damage that I took earlier because my brain was like, oh, I didn't take sand damage. No, I took sand damage. But yeah, Unaware is kind of cool for those certain setup situations where you fight like Sword Stance on the King Gambit or bulk up Corviknight or some other things that, as I mentioned before. So I feel like Unaware is still pretty good ability on Clefable because you're not forced to Mega Evolve every time. Sometimes that flying weakness can be a problem, especially when you're facing like Rock Slides or Blizzards. But at the same time, it can be a benefit when you're pairing with Excadrill because you can go for Earthquake next to the flying Clefable. We'll see how well Clefable is able to perform today. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Choice Scarf Rotom Heat. And I think Rotom Heat is a nice Pokemon in this format, especially with Sand, because you have access to the fire coverage to be able to hit the Corviknights especially. You are resistant to the heat waves from Charizard Y, and you could go for a fast Volt Switch, which is pretty nice, especially when you could Volt Switch on a Charizard Y Mega Evolving, having the sun up, then you bring in your Tyranitar, which does cancel out the weather. Then I could also have Excadrill get Dynamic Speed if that is a situation. Also having an Earthquake immunity, pretty solid into the Basket Legions that are Choice Scarf, Fast and Aerodactyl. Electroweb Speed Control is nice with the Choice Scarf. Yeah, I think it is a pretty solid mon here, and then Trick is nice as well. I also like having the Rotom Heat because it's able to also switch into Blizzard, which the Clefable doesn't enjoy dealing with, so it's a bit better into like Frostlass. So we have Volt Switch, Overheat, Electroweb for the speed control, and then Trick, which Trick can be really useful against some passive situations. Like you can trick a Farigiraf and lock it into a move, and there are a lot of Pokemon you can trick and it'd be useful, especially, or I could trick a Choice Scarf onto one of my Pokemon, and that could actually be beneficial depending on the situation. So this EV spread is able to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl. It's a spread created by Michael Kelsch. We have some HP investment, a lot of it, because you still want Rotom to be able to switch into attacks, and then a decent amount of special attack to get some damage off. overall, it's able to switch in, get some chip damage across the board, be useful for the Volt Switch and Electro speed control, and of course Overheat for the Corviknight, and again, any other grass types that are potentially threatening to the Clefable as well as the Excadrill. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Como, and Como pairs really nicely with Excadrill because you have the Steel type Excadrill that's threatening the Fairy types, and the Como can help out, be able to resist quite a few Pokemon and help out against like Garchomp, against the Rotoms because it doesn't really mind taking the Rotom attacks and can set up on them and threaten a heavy amount of damage. Good into King Gambit, which is pretty nice because Excadrill can kind of struggle against it, so can Clefable. So I felt like Como made a lot of sense here, being able to set up with the Clanger Soul, which boosts its attack and all of its stats actually by one stage at the cost of 33% of its HP is pretty solid. Aura Spear's great coverage, Clang Scales, of course, strong spread, Dragon type attack, it's pretty nice. So with Como, you definitely want a lot of speed because you want to be able to outspeed threats like the base 130s like Aerodactyl and the Mega Gengar, and then also you want to be able to outspeed the Mega Delphox, which is why we're going with modest max speed. And then the rest is going to be with a jump point to a special attack stat to gain as much you can from the Clanger Soul so you can dish out damage after the +1, and then a little bit of bulk because Como does appreciate a little bit of bulk because of the fact that with Clanger Soul you can still take attacks because you have boosted all your defense stats by one stage as well. So it is actually useful there. Overall, Como with the soundproof ability, which is also pretty solid because it is able to ignore Hyper Voice on Sylveon as well as Gardevoir, Parting Shot from Incineroar. I think it's just one of the best abilities. Yes, I could have run Overcoat to prevent sand damage from affecting Como, but I do think soundproof is probably the superior ability right now in the current format. The leftovers Como is just going to be able to negate the sand chip, but also you don't always bring sand in the matchup, so you can always just get leftovers recovery and maximize the recovery with a number divisible by 16, which means that you get 1 extra point in the recovery. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Basculegion, and I think Basculegion is pretty nice to have in this kind of format, especially where it is one of the most broken mons, realistically. Let's be real, it is absolutely broken. I think the water coverage is pretty nice to be able to hit the fire types. The ghost typing is just nice to be able to switch into the fighting type attacks, especially when you're running sand. It's a bit troublesome. And last respect is just such a deadly combination that it can really just break through things. So I think that Adamant Basculegion is something I want to try, and I think it makes a lot of sense on this team, especially because of the fact that it can switch into close combats pretty comfortably. But also, I did want to try out one of the bulkier Basculegions. Since we're running Choice Scarf on the Rotom Heat, I think the Citrus Berry one could actually come into play here and actually be pretty solid. So I wanted to try it out because I have seen a lot of the Citrus Berry Basculegions been running on some weather teams. And I thought, you know what, I think this is the perfect moment to try it out. We run max attack with an Adamant Nature to take advantage of Wave Crash and Last Respect doing a ton of damage. We have a bit of HP and defense investments, so you don't want to invest too much HP in the Basculegion or it's taking a little bit more from the sand. So I did decide to have it under a number that was 208. 208 is divisible by 16, which means you actually take an extra hit or extra HP of sand every turn, which you don't want. The investment of HP and defense allows you to lift Sucker Punch from the King Gambits, which is nice, that aren't black glasses, and a lot of them are running Chople Berry recently. And then the remainder is going to go into special defense. This could make some rolls on like Thunderbolt, as well as the Dark Pulse from other mons like Hydreigon or Mega Blastoise in your favor, even if you're taking sand damage. So pretty bulky Basculegion, able to heal with the Citrus Berry and kind of just be able to clean up endgames or be a Masu or a monster against Sneasler, which of course Tyranitar, Excadrill, and Clefable don't exactly enjoy playing. So this is the mon that's going to help it. Adaptability just makes its same type attack bonuses even more powerful, and that Citrus Berry is going to be pretty nice here. We'll see if it actually comes into play, but I did really want to try out bulky Basculegion. Just having a nice switch for the maybe the Garchomp Earthquake, be able to eat it up pretty well as again the Sneasler, which is the important one. So how to use the team? Well, a lot of this team involves just trying to get damage immediately or just trying to set up. You have the Excadrill and the Como, both Pokemon I do love to set up with the Swords Dance and the Clanger Soul. You can pair this with the Follow Me from the Mega Clefable. Remember, in some games you might not want to Mega Evolve and you might want to delay Mega Evolution in some cases where you are fighting like really strong spread moves, especially from like Rock Slides or Blizzards. That could be really terrifying for the Clefable, so something to keep in mind. So we are going to be running the Excadrill and Como next to Clefable, really great because they are able to set up with the Swords Dance and the Clanger Soul next to the Clefable. Then there are also some other leads. If you want to go offensive and want to scout, or maybe just be able to get a fast Volt Switch off to be able to pivot in position, Rotom Heat is a pretty nice lead. You can lead like Rotom Heat plus Excadrill, as I mentioned before. You have that Volt Switch play in the Tyranitar for the dynamic speed, so Excadrill can then move after because of the Sand Stream giving it the Sand Rush ability, which doubles its speed. Those are some pretty good combos. Then you also have like other offensive combinations that you could go for. Tyranitar plus Excadrill. If the team seems really weak to Excadrill, you could just lead off Excadrill immediately with Tyranitar to get the sand, and then hard swap in your Rotom and then click Earthquake, for example, is also not a bad decision. You can also lead something like Clefable plus Rotom Heat as well to be able to like play around in Incineroar, Intimidate, and then try to bring in your Excadrill after the Incineroar has already been on the field, so you don't have to worry about that. Intimidate is also pretty nice. You can lead a lot of different combinations, but I would say those are probably the main leads that you would go for. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, there'll be a link in the description down below. If you'd like to try out the replica of the team, you can grab it right here, but make sure you grab it. Otherwise, let's get started and play some games with Mega Clefable and see if it's actually worth the niche or if you should just use Mega Gardevoir and Mega Eternal Floette. Alright, we have Kangaskhan, Dragonite, Sneasler, Incineroar, Sinistcha, and Milotic. Alright, interesting. Kangaskhan and Dragonite. Kangaskhan probably going to be Mega. It could be like one of those Silk Scarf Last Resort sets, I suppose. Dragonite could be Mega. They got double Fake Out potential. Got the classic Milo plus the Sinistcha. Curious on what we're going to see. I could definitely see it being support Tailwind Dragonite. I know Japan's been using it a bit recently. What do I want to use against this team? Sand is nice to break through multi-scale. Clefable is pretty decent here. Como is solid. There's a lot of good options. Do I want to go Excadrill is the question, I think, because otherwise Basculegion is actually really good here. Yeah, Basculegion's really good here. They don't have a fairy type, so Como seems really good as long as it's not Haze Dragonite. I think I'm willing to try out Como plus Clefable immediately. I think it's a pretty good general lead for the most part. Rotom in the back and probably Basculegion. I don't think the Sand Mode's necessary, although Excadrill does look decent here against Sneasler and Incineroar. I don't think it's as needed because if I'm set up with my Como, I should be in a good spot against those Pokemon anyway. So let's see how this is going to perform because I really do think Como is really good against my opponent's team. Elite Sneasler plus Dragonite, okay. As I do lead Como Clefable. I want to keep them guessing on the Mega Evolution, and I don't see myself switching out to the Clefable anytime soon. They could fake out the Como. I could go for like an Air/Mega Evolution and protect Como turn 1. The only problem is if I take too much damage, it's not exactly great. I don't know if they would fake out though. I think I'm just going to go for a double protect turn 1. It's pretty safe for the most part. Other than a coaching immediately from Sneasler into the Dragonite, but are you going to do that? I'd be kind of shocked, but we'll see. We will double protect. Let's see what they decide to go for. Fake out into Como. Could have air slashed. Alright. They Tailwind. Okay, so this is support Dragonite most likely then. Okay. Which is fine by me. Do I want to Clanger Soul? I definitely live Dire Claw with the Clefable if I Mega Evolve. Do I think it's Haze is a good question. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to go for Clanger Soul. And I'm going to go for Follow Me with Mega Evolving. Because Clefable will get the extra bulk, I'll be able to live the attacks here. There should always be Dire Claw plus a Dragon move. I assume it's Scale Shot. Maybe it's Dragon Claw instead. We'll find out. They could also close combat. They extreme speed Dire Claw. That makes sense as well. I think Clefable might tank, but we'll see. We do follow me here. So I could have actually just went for Clanging Scales Air Slash 2, which would have been nice. But Dire Claw going to come out. Yeah, I do tank with the Clefable. Nice. No sleep. That's good. We do get the Clanger Soul off. Okay, we're boosted. So if it's extreme speed, last move should be like Dragon Claw, or it's going to be something else. All right. And we get the leftovers. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad spot. I'm kind of curious on what the Sneasler item is, because that will be important. But I do think my best play here is just to go for Protect. And yeah, I think it's just double Protect here. I don't think it's Haze Dragonite. I really don't. And I imagine the Dragonite is still faster than my Como even after +1, which is actually good for me. I want to put these Pokemon into Aqua Jet range. They go for Dire Claw into the Clefable. I thought they might have doubled the Como slot. They Dragon Claw. Okay, so they do have Dragon Claw. Good to know. As we get leftovers. And now we're going to go for Clang Scales and a Follow Me. If I expect Dire Claw, I could switch out into Bass, but I would rather let Clefable go down because it's done its job. Yeah, let's Follow Me plus a Clang Scales. I don't think they're max HP Dragonite with no speed on Tailwind. I don't. So they should be faster. I'll have a defense boost when they Dragon Claw, and that means my Clanging Scales will be effective here. I wonder if it's Sash Sneasler or not. They do go for Dragon Claw. I don't get crit, but that did way more than I expected. Clanging Scales comes out. Should be multi-scale Dragonite. It is multi-scale Dragonite. Okay, this is good. This is good. Because I will heal with the leftovers. And now their Tailwind's petered out. I can go out into Rotom, or I could go out into Basket Legion. I'm kind of chill going into Rotom. The reason I'm thinking going Rotom is because they could go Sinisha if I go Bask and heal the Dragonite with Hospitality. So I think the best place to go Rotom and just go for Protect with Como and probably just Volt Switch off the Dragonite. I don't know. They should Extreme Speed Lock, but I guess they could Protect a Scout here. But I think they have King in the back, so I don't think they have to do that play. It is going to be a bit tricky, but I think that this is pretty alright for the most part. I think it's just going to come down to how well I can play the end game. They don't... Okay, I do protect the Como. They don't protect the Dragonite. They did even Extreme Speed, which I'm very surprised by. So I do get the Dragonite, which is nice. And I get to retreat out into my Basket Legion. And now I can threaten the Kangaskhan with a Wave Crash. They Dire Claw to Rotom. Okay. Thankfully, I do tank it and no status. I do go down to Fake Out from Kang. Yeah, Kang comes out. They have to Fake Out the Como. So I think I have to go for Double Protect. Otherwise, I could just Aura Spear and take the knockout. I'm just going to go for Wave Crash into Kangaskhan. They know I'm Scarf Rotom Heat. I'm curious what their last Pokemon is. I'm going to need to win it with the Basket Legion plus the Rotom. If it's Sinistra, it should be generally fine with Rotom plus Bask. I guess it could be like a few mind games involved. But let's see. Also, if I get Double Protect, I think I instant win here. I think I instant win if I get Double Protect with Como. The Dragon Claw did a bit more than I expected from the Dragonite. I really thought Como would take it a little bit better with its physical defense, but not the case. We will see the Mega Evolution from the Kangaskhan. We do get the double. Wait, that's so big. That's so big. They protect Sneasler because they're afraid of Aqua Jet, so they're going to Fake Out the Como. Okay, that makes sense. Yep. And that's why I Wave Crash anyway to Kang for the damage, even if I didn't get it. Let's see how much this does. It should do a good amount. It's Adamant Adaptability. Okay, that's a crit. I don't need the crit, but that's helpful. I think I win. Yeah, I think I guarantee win here. Because with the leftovers, I'm definitely out of Sucker Punch range. And I can go for Clang Scales and swap out here into Rotom. The reason I'm going to swap out the Rotom is so I can keep the Protect option on Basque, and I don't want to get Sucker Punched by the Kangaskhan into the Basque Legion. We will take the game. Okay. Okay. Not too shabby. Again, if I just went for my gut turn one and went for the Air Slash and the Sneasler immediately, would have been nice. But not too bad. Alright, we have Dragapult, Sneasler, Incineroar, Hippowdon with Toxapex and the Meganium. So, why is there Hippowdon and a Toxapex and a Dragapult? Also, okay. Well, Meganium will be the Mega Evolution. It's the only Mega Evolution that can be on my opponent's team. Hippowdon's definitely an interesting mon here. So is a Toxapex. My Meganium matchup is actually not that great. It's not that great when my coverage isn't the best here. But, I mean, I can make it work, I suppose. Clefable is actually pretty solid here. Excadrill is really good here, because I can threaten the Meganium safely. Okay, I think I have an idea of what I want to do. The question is, what am I leading here? I think I want to go with Excadrill. Is it time I to Excadrill immediately? It might be okay here. We're bringing Rotom Heat. I feel like I want Rotom Heat as a backup. I think Excadrill is solid. I think Clefable is solid. I think Rotom is solid. And I really think Basque Legion is super solid as well. Because I need to make sure I have ways to break through Hippowdon, because my team doesn't break through Hippowdon otherwise. I want Tyranitar for the Sand. I don't know if they would bring their Tyranitar. I kind of doubt it, but I don't think I need Sand Rush to sweep their team. My Excadrill is pretty fast throughout most of it. Okay, we're going to see Dragapult and Incineroar. Interesting. Versus Excadrill and Clefable. Alright. My best play is probably to switch out the Excadrill because it doesn't do much here. I could go for Earthquake here, but the thing is, I'd rather have Excadrill to deal with the other Pokemon in the back. So I think a Baskin is pretty good. And I'm going to go for my Mega Evolution and go for a Moonblast straight away into Dragapult. I'm kind of curious on what they have here because I don't know what I'd expect from their set. We're going to see Dragapult retreat into Toxapex. So we see the Toxapex being brought out. Also, that's against an Excadrill. But I guess they're going to fake out the Excadrill slot. So this works out for me, I suppose. Like, I'm trying to figure out what my opponent even has. Like, what is this team, man? Get the Mega Clefable out. They did fake out attempt at the Toxapex or the Excadrill. That makes sense if they were switching into Toxapex. We do get a Moonblast off for Chip, I suppose. We get to see if it's lefties. It is lefties, okay. Again, I kind of ignored a Toxapex. We go for a Wave Crash into Incin, and I think I also go for Air Slash into Incin as well because I want to punish Meganium if it comes in and tries to come in on the switch. And I definitely KO Incineroar with the combination of Wave Crash plus Air Slash no matter what. I'd also be taking less damage or recoil on the Basque Legion because of the fact that the Air Slash damage will go off first. So all of those are pretty nice. So I'll go for Air Slash plus Wave Crash. Oh wait, no, I mixed up my order. Never mind. I mixed up my order. Okay, we do get the Wave Crash KO into the Incin. Incin goes down. Beautiful. And we get an Air Slash off in a Toxapex. I mean, damage is damage. Puts in Earthquake range. Yeah, that's not too bad. Stockpile. Okay. Not that concerned about it because Excadrill kind of sweeps. Unless this is Wide Guard. Unless this is Wide Guard. Sneasler in. It's Sneasler? I'm Wave Crashing the Sneasler and then protecting the Clefable. Again, I don't care if the Toxapex sets up because if I isolate the Toxapex, Excadrill kind of wins anyway. Protect. They Dire Claw the Clefable. What is this Toxapex set? Here comes Wave Crash. Do we KO? We do KO. What is this team, man? What was my opponent's ranking? I didn't see my opponent's ranking. Heal up with the citrus berry. Beautiful. Stockpile again. Okay, I have a pretty good win condition here, actually. I also have good tricks on the Rotom as well. And speaking of trick, that's exactly what I'm gonna try to accomplish here. We're gonna see the Dragapult come in. If it's Phantom Force, I don't really mind. I'm gonna go for Last Respect into the Dragapult, and I'm gonna actually switch out into Rotom. The main reason is I could see Dragapult Protect. They have Protect. I don't even know if they have Protect at this point. And I'm gonna swap out my Clef, because keeping Clef so I can follow me is nice. So I'm gonna go into Rotom here. As I go for Phantom Force, that's okay. I don't mind if Basket Legion goes down. I don't need it in this game anymore. They go for Infestation. Okay. It's funny because Mega Clefable has the Magic Guard ability, so it wouldn't care about this Toxapex. But yeah, that's not even too bad of a deal because I can also Volt Switch out after I trick the Toxapex. So I'm going to go for my Last Respect into the Dragapult, and I'm just going to go for a Trick. Because I do have Trick with Choice Scarf Rotom, so I will be able to lock this Toxapex into a move, and it won't even be able to recover, for instance. So this is really good. They get a Choice Scarf, I get Leftovers, which is also pretty nice. Phantom Force is going to KO my Basket Legion, but that's alright. Because now I get to bring out my Clefable, and I get to click like Moonblast and Volt Switch, I suppose. What are they locking themselves into with the Scarf? They're locked in a stockpile. It's GG. It's GG. Okay. Because now their Choice Scarf locked into stockpile, they can't do anything, so that means I do win with Excadrill plus my attack. Was this like, did I get like, I don't know. If this got to Master Ball tier, I'd be very shocked. I'd be very shocked. If they did get Master Ball tier, kudos to my opponent. But I'm feeling this is like a Great Ball match or something. Let's go for Moonblast. Let's go for Volt Switch into the Dragapult. It doesn't really matter as Dragapult can't touch Clefable at all. Yeah, they go for darts. That's fine because Rotom will eat 2. Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to Dragapult because Dragapult really needs offensive items and it doesn't get any because there are no offensive items in this format. So we do get Volt Switch off and the Dragapult breaks a potential Focus Sash, I suppose. If it's Focus Sash, there is a Powdon, but I have no clue. It's not Focus Sash on the Sneasler. We do get an Excadrill. And Moonblast will easily KO the Dragapult. Yeah, so no Meganium Broad either, because Mega Meganium was good against my team. The crit doesn't matter on the Dragapult. So Dragapult goes down, and now I just spam Swords Dance with my Excadrill, and I get a bit of chip damage into the Toxapex, I suppose. There's not really anything they can do here. And Stockpile is limited to 3 defense boosts each. Yeah, they realize like they can't do anything. They can't do anything. So we will take the win there. All right, I think all the Mon choices were right at the very least. Again, I have no idea what that was. All right, we have Tyranitar, Garchomp, Mega Meganium, Rotom Wash, the Aegislash, and Talonflame. I'd assume it's dual Mega. It could be Tyranitar and Meganium. There's 3 potential Megas. Meganium's always going to be a Mega. The rest not have to be. All right, Garchomp Talon is kind of rough. There's a lot of rough things. Mainly it's the Meganium. Meganium paired with a bunch of Mons is pretty scary for my team. I think I like... What do I like here? I think Basket Legion isn't that good against my opponent's team because I'm pretty slow on Basket Legion and I don't have any really big speed control. So probably Basket's being left behind. I think I go with Rotom lead because Rotom threatens Talonflame. Not too worried about the Garchomp if it leads. Clefable is also pretty solid. I do want to have Como because the Tyranitar Garchomp mode could be a bit scary. And I think Excadrill for the Meganium as well as the Aegislash. It's going to be a tough one. This is not an easy matchup, but we'll see what we can do here. I really want to open up with Volt Switch and Scout or threat to Meganium with Overheat potentially. Talonflame Garchomp, that's not a surprise lead to me. Okay. As I do lead Rotom and Clefable. What's nice about this is I do threaten the Volt Switch and the Talonflame immediately, which I am going to go for. And then I'm going to go for a Mega Evolution and Moonblast the Garchomp. I'm immune to the ground type moves. I guess I will be weak to Rock Slide if they go for Rock Slide, but at the same time, like, if it's not bulky Garchomp, Moonblast KOs the Garchomp because it is guaranteed. The Clefable special attack is really nice. Talonflame protects. I guess they're scouting here. Did the Garchomp protect as well? No, it did not. Okay. So Volt Switch coming out. Rock Slide. Please get the... That did a lot. Okay, I was about to say that did too much. Nice. I don't get flinched. I get a Moonblast off. Beautiful. Lived on one. Citrus. I wonder if I low rolled that too, if it has bulk, because I KO non-bulkless Garchomp. But we will Volt Switch to Talonflame, I suppose. I guess the question is, do I want to Protect? I think Protect makes sense here. They could Tailwind Rock Slide, or they could double my Clefable slot with Acrobatics plus Rock Slide, which I could see here. They do go for Tailwind. All right, Rotom, please don't flinch. I want to get my Como in. Okay, they Rock Slide. Nice, that's a nice dodge. Okay, nice. I do get a Volt Switch off into Talon. That's pretty good for me. Because now I can go out into my Como. I think, what's the smartest play here? Is it to Clanger Soul immediately, or is it to go for Clang Scales, take the double knockout? That's a tough question. I think it depends on heavily what the last Pokemon is. I think Meganium's in the back. The question is, what's the last? If it's Rotom, I might need a boost. I think they're just gonna Acrobatics. Well, they can't Dragon Claw, right? Because I would Follow Me. Well, they don't know I have Follow Me or not. I guess I just go for Clang Scales plus to Follow Me. Because if they Dragon Claw, I'm good. They could protect Garchomp, which is fine. But yeah, I thought they are going to go on the offense. So let's see. This is Acro Dragon Claw or Acro Rock Slide? Acrobatics. This one KO Clefable. Yep. They do Rock Slide. Okay. Como, please? Please? Very much pretty please. Because I think we lose if we get flinched here. Okay. Nice. 2 turns of Tailwind have to be stalled out, but depends heavily on the last 2. Ideally, it's not Rotom. Oh, man. I think I gotta go Excadrill here because I need access to Protects, but I do think that I'm probably losing Meganium Rotom Wash unless they didn't bring a Rotom, but I'd be shocked. Oh, Aegislash. Wait, that makes it easier because Excadrill's better here. Rotom Heat's also pretty solid. Okay. Maybe I could have boosted the Como, but I think I would have gone down to Acrobatics Dragon Claw, so I don't think that would have worked. I think I still need to go for Protects around the board. Do I need to go for a double Protect is the question with Excadrill. We'll see. Actually, I realized this is not my play. My best play was to switch out Como into Rotom because they're going to go for Dazzling Gleam plus a double up into Excadrill. My best play was to go Rotom because I probably outspeed the Aegislash with Scarf Rotom, and then I could have threatened the Overheat. Yeah, this was definitely not a good play, actually, now that I look back at it. They go for Dazzling Gleam. And they stance change. Yeah, I just realized that this was definitely not the right play. They Poltergeist. I could go for Poltergeist Miss. I could go for Double Protect. I think I need a Double Protect with Excadrill at this point. Because if I switch out Excadrill and a Rotom Heat, I go down to the double up. I either need a Poltergeist dodge or a Double Protect. I think if I get either one of those, I win the game. So I think I'm going to go for that. It is my best odds of being able to win the game. Actually, I should have not risked a Como, actually. I mean, not risked a Rotom. I probably should let Como go down. Yeah, because I didn't need Como to win this game at all. It doesn't do... I guess, like, the Beta Chip could matter, but yeah, I shouldn't have done it. Go for a double. Unfortunately, we fail, so that will be the game, most likely. Unless, again, Poltergeist miss. Dazzling Gleam. Actually, no. I think Rotom's out of Shadow Sneak range, so this was probably still ideal of a play. They go for Poltergeist. And yeah, they do hit, so this will definitely KO Excadrill, I imagine. Yeah. They know I'm Scarf Rotom. Let's see. I think I gotta hope for a mess up here. Yeah, I think I gotta hope for a mess up. I think I have to overheat the Meganium and Clangorous Soul. I think their best play is to protect and Shadow Sneak twice. No. They know I'm Scarf. Actually, I would Shadow Sneak twice if I was them. Unless I think Como has an attack that knocks out Aegislash in one shot. I need to boost with Como anyway. I think I'm just going to hope that they don't protect. But yeah, they should always protect. So they do know about locking the game up because they will go for this. Oh, they went for Poltergeist instead. Okay. Because here's the thing. If I do overheat the Aegislash, I need to crit the Meganium. I guess maybe that was probably a better win con. I could also dodge Poltergeist here with Rotom. But yeah, okay. I think I went for my outs. I don't think it was too bad. I think... I wonder if Clef lived to double up if I hanged on. Because if I was able to survive the Acrobatics plus Rock Slide combo, that would have been huge. Because I would have had more resources to protect and stall out the turns. I don't think it would have. It would have been close, but... Yeah, actually, no, I don't think I would have. Because it would have been more Rock Slide damage, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, like, was there anything I could do? I think I did go for the best plays. Protect the Excadrill. Rotom Heat Swap, I think, actually was good here. But yeah, unfortunately, I could not do too much. This one was rough. Meganium, Tailwind, plus like Garchomp was very rough for this team to handle. All right, we have the Meowscarada with King Gambit, Aerodactyl, Charizard, Basculegion, and Sneasler. All right, so Sand Mode definitely going to be brought here. Como's pretty solid. Excadrill not really needed. I don't really need Basculegion either. So I'm thinking my four are probably going to be Rotom, Como, Tyranitar, Clefable. I'm just trying to figure out which order do I want to bring them in. I think I go with Rotom plus Como lead. Yeah, I think Rotom Como is pretty solid because Como has really good defenses for the most part to be able to just tank attacks. I think Clefable in the back and then have Tyranitar as last. Because I need to be able to switch into the Aerodactyl. Interesting to see Meowscarada. So I'm curious on if that Pokemon will be able to do much here. But it does threaten a decent amount of my team. Although the other half, probably not as much. But we do see Aerodactyl plus Meowscarada. Okay. Versus Rotom and Como. I know Meowscarada gets access to Triple Axle, and it does get access to a bunch of other techs. I think my best play is just to easily go for a Volt Switch into the Aerodactyl and probably just protect my Como. I wonder if they think I'm Scarf Rotom. They could protect the Aerodactyl, but yeah, they didn't. I protect the Como. No protects around the board. It's Scarf. Okay. That's annoying. Scarf knockoff the Rotom. I was worried about Triple Axle or Play Rough because it does get access to Play Rough. Okay, we do know it's Scarf. That means I get a free switch to Clefable and I get to threaten heavily here. So I guess not too bad. Because I can boost with my Como. As we will get Clefable in. We're going to go for a Moonblast. We're going to target down the Aerodactyl, and we're gonna go for Clanger Soul. Are they gonna knock off here, or are they gonna swap? Knock off my leftovers would be a bit annoying, but I think it's still pretty alright. I think Aerodactyl is probably gonna go for Rock Slide here again. Maybe they Tailwind. They do swap out the Meowscarada, which is fine, into the Charizard. That makes sense. They do Tailwind. Okay, this is pretty reasonable for me. This works out. Okay. So I do get Clanger Soul up, so I'm +1. And I do get a Moonblast into the Aerodactyl. I didn't Mega Evolve because I don't want the Rock weakness. So we do get the Moonblast off in the Aerodactyl. Pretty nice damage. I need to preserve the Clef because I need to make sure I have redirection to beat the Meowscarada. I mean, my play is just easily to go for a double protect here. Curious on what the Charizard moveset is. I would really like to know if it has Air Slash or if it's not, but we are going to see a Mega Evolution from the Charizard. So I can go Tyranitar the next turn if I do want to. Debating not, but we will protect Como. And Clefable to stall out a Tailwind turn. Do I want to go for Clanger Soul again? Or do I? I might. Rock Slide. Is this Heat Wave? It is Heat Wave. I don't think they're going to Air Slash. I think it's really unlikely they do. I think my best place to go Tyranitar and probably just go for... Is it Clang Scales here? I think it's Clanger Soul. I really think it's Clanger Soul because then I outspeed the Basculegion. I'm gonna go for it. I also outspeed the Meowscarada too. If I don't take too much from Rock Slide Heat Wave, I should be good. And I think with the option for Follow Me, I don't think they're gonna risk it. So we will go for this. Oh, they do Wing Beat. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. They did Heat Wave though. Okay. That's fine. Because I don't get the Clanger Soul off, which is actually good for me in this case. I gotta be careful, but you know what? This isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. They're probably doubling out here. I think... Oh, wait. It can't be Scarf Basculegion. I just realized. Because it's Scarf Meowscarada. I could have just Clanging Scales. I should have Clanging Scales. But this is alright. They're going to switch out to Meowscarada. Yep. To reset the weather. And I'm going to save my Tyranitar to go Clefable. And now I can Clanging Scales and Follow Me, the attacks. Because I'm not really that worried about the Meowscarada. We do go for the Protect here. As I do Rock Slide. Unfortunately, I am unaware, so I will take a bit of sand damage. Ooh, nice dodge, Clef. Nice dodge. As long as it's not wide. Well, it can't. I don't think it is Wide Guard Aerodactyl because we saw the dual Wing Beat. So we'll go for Follow Me and we'll go for the Clanging Scales here. Okay. We have an okay spot. Kind of depends on what Meowscarada locks into. I think it's probably Flower Trick into the Clefable. But if they do that, I can Mega Evolve the next turn and redirect it, so it's not too bad. Let's see. They lock in a Triple Axle. Okay. It actually does do a lot of damage, but Clanging Scales will knock out the Aerodactyl. I don't know about the Meowscarada. Let's see. Good damage, but not enough. Yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit tricky because I didn't get damage on Charizard earlier. They're gonna Triple Axle my Como. I guess the question is what's the last? Is it Sneasler? Is it Basculegion? Or is it King Gambit? There's a lot that they could have brought here. Okay. I have to follow me, unfortunately. I think I just have to follow me and go for Clang Scales. I think it's just going to come down to the last. If it's Gambit, maybe Low Kick Tyranitar can beat it. Let's see how much does Clang Scales do. Triple Axle. Will KO the Clef. Clang Scales. Yeah, I should have Clang Scales more. I needed the damage onto the Charizard earlier. And I forgot I don't have to worry about Scarf Bask in this game. Let's see. Gonna be Solar Beam. Oh, there was one player I was debating about, which was going Tyranitar. And just Moonblasting. Wait. That was pathetic. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They went for the no miss move. I'm assuming their last move was Overheat. But they might have screwed themselves. Basket Legion. Unless they have some setup move, the best place to scout for a Charizard Protect. I think they have to, like, protect Charizard. They either have to protect Bask and KO the Como, I think. This is kind of a weird spot for them. Because if they Jet, they go down a knockoff, which means Tyranitar 1v1's a Charizard. So I do win if that's the case. But I might as well get the sand damage. Okay, they choose the Aqua Jet, which means they choose to lose the game here. Water Ball and the Tyranitar. Yeah, because I can Clang Scales and knock off the Basket Legion, and that's super safe to win. Because I can knock off the Basket Legion, and I can go for Clang Scales into this. Unless they have the Dark Barrier on the Bask. There's no other play that they have here, because Como is the fastest mon on the field currently. We know it's not Scarf Basket Legion. They Aqua Jet the Como. Como goes down. But I don't think the Charizard Weather Ball is doing nearly enough. Also, why did they... Oh, I guess they didn't want a Weather Ball in case I was random bulletproof. So they covered that basis. Yeah, the Weather Ball does nothing to Tyranitar. And then we get a knockoff into Bass, which should KO. Yep. I cannot believe we won that. I cannot believe we won that. Okay, that was definitely a misplay, though. That was definitely a misplay of going for that second Clanger Soul. That was a greedy one. I wanted it for a potential Scarf Bask, but I keep forgetting that they're not all Scarf Bask. It's just such a habit that I've had. But yeah, now we can knock off the Charizard and win the game. And we go for knockoff because knockoff will KO. They go for Solar Beam because they thought they're hoping that I protect the Charizard to get more sand damage. But yeah, knockoff plus sand KOs. And I didn't want to give them that Solar Beam charge potential. So we actually do win this game. Not what I expected, but you know what? We'll take it. Clefable didn't Mega Evolve, but some games you don't have to Mega Clefable, and sometimes that flying weakness can be a bad thing. Alright, we have Frostlass, Garchomp, Basculegion, Sneasler, Kingambit, and Milotic. Alright, so we have quite a few threats, but Scarf Rotom Heat is pretty good. It threatens the Frostlass, threatens the Basculegion, does damage to the Milotic as well. I wonder if it's Scarf Garchomp. Scarf Garchomp would be kind of annoying. I don't even know if I want to Mega Evolve Clef and get the weakness to the Frostlass. There's a lot of potential brings that I could have. Am I bringing Como in this matchup? I think so, right? Because I need it for Kingambit. Do I opt to not bring the Sand mode? Because, like, Sand is really only good for the Frostlass. It's not good against anything else, realistically. I think my best play is just to lead Rotom Clef. And then have Bask Como as the last two. You know what? Yeah. I'm hoping that Scarf Overheat can knock out Frostlass. I know I don't have much special attack investment, but it's still a really strong attack from Rotom Heat. I imagine with the power and the same type of attack bonus, I should get the KO. Basket Legion plus the Frostlass is okay. Versus Clefable and the Rotom. Curious here. There's a lot of plays I could go on. I could throw off the Overheat immediately and follow me. I'm gonna throw off the Overheat and follow me. There's a chance they go Garchomp for the Basket Legion Protect. I can see Protect's a Scout. But you know what? I'm gonna Overheat, follow me. They did Mega Evolve, so that means they attack. Because you don't Protect if you Mega Evolve, I think, for the most part. If I Overheat KO, I'm in really good shape. Alright. Snow Warning. Please Rotom KO Frostlass. I need to KO the Frostlass here with Overheat. If it isn't, that's really bad. Okay, we will follow me. Although, did they Blizzard or did they Shadow Ball? Probably Blizzard. Overheat, we do connect. Okay, we do KO Frostlass turn 1. That was the biggest demon to my Como, so that's huge. We get rid of Frostlass, and they Wave Crash and take a bunch of recoil or liquidation and do a decent amount. Flip turn. Okay, so it's probably Scarf Bass. Good to know. Alright. We'll gladly take that. So who's coming in? Garchomp? But really nice turn. Big Overheat. Sneasler. Okay. Sneasler in. Basket Legion. So fake out Wave Crash. They could Last Respect as well. I think my best play is probably just to go out in the Basket Legion for the Rotom and protect the Clefable here. Oh, this could be a bit scary, but I think it's still pretty reasonable. Flip turn should confirm its Choice Scarf on the Basque. Last Respect wouldn't KO Rotom, but they could try to catch the switch. They do Wave Crash though. Okay, that's really good for me. So Wave Crash into Basque. We tank it really well here. And they go for close combat, trying to activate the White Herb. That makes sense to me. Okay, cool. Do I Last Respect the Basket Legion, or do I try to get rid of the... I think I try to get rid of the Sneasler. I'm going to Wave Crash the Sneasler, and I'm going to go out in a Rotom. Or actually, do I go Rotom or do I go Como? I think I go Rotom because Rotom's the least needed member here. Because yeah, they switch out the Bass, which is also really nice for me. They go King Gambit. Perfect. I don't know if they protect the Sneasler, but even if they don't protect, it's still good because I can still threaten Aqua Jet the next turn. Nice, they Dire Claw. Perfect. And I do get the Wave Crash off. So that's a massive, massive Wave Crash. That is physically defensive Sneasler. That took it really, really well. Okay. But we do have our Citrus Berry. Now we can threaten Aqua Jet into the Sneasler, and we can threaten Overheat into the King Gambit slot. I also really like how Como is set up in this endgame position, because Como should be able to come in no matter what. So this is really good for me. They could switch out King Gambit into Basket Legion Protect, but at the same time, it's still kind of spooky for them. They do switch out Sneasler into Basket Legion. Is this Protect? Okay, good play on their part. That's still fine, though. Because I am Scarf Rotom, and we saw the speed interaction earlier. So what, do they have to Aqua Jet the Rotom? If they Aqua Jet the Rotom, I get a free swap to the Como, and I think I win off that. So I think my best play is just to Overheat to the King Gambit and protect the Basket Legion. Because I want to keep Bass so I can Aqua Jet threaten the Sneasler if needed. All I need to do is get a good position for Clanger Soul to come in and do work. So that's the goal here. All right. Nice. Nice. Let's see how the rest turns out because I'm trying to figure this out too. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, okay, if they Sucker Punch, it's fine. It really depends. They could Sucker Punch a Rotom. I don't think Sucker Punch KOs. I really don't think Sucker Punch KOs the Rotom in this position. They retreat to King Gammon, they go into Sneasler, so that's one mon I don't have to worry about. I'll take it. I'm assuming they're gonna Last Respect then my... Yeah, they're gonna Last Respect here, the Rotom then. So Sneasler goes down, but if they Last Respect the Rotom, I win the game anyway. The reason I win is because I go Clefable, then click Follow Me, Last Respect into Bask, and then it's Como 1v. Yeah, and they're locked in the Wave Crash. It's GG for me. I want both of these mons to go down, so I get a free switch to Clef plus my... What do I need damage on? Probably just go for a Jet here. Trying to figure out. I think it's Jet Overheat into the Bask. And get as much damage as I can onto the Bask anyway. They go for Sucker Punch into my Basculegion. Nice. I could have Aqua Jet Overheat as well, the King Gambit. That also would have worked. But this still works out pretty well for me. I just get some chip. And then they are going to, again, we're just trying to put them in range of my... either the recoil or me being able to set up a nice position for the end game with my Como. So this is pretty good. Because I can go out into my Clefable. I can click Last Respect. I mean, there's a lot I can do here. I actually think best play is just to protect Basculegion and Moonblast. There's so many ways that I can clean up this endgame, but I like the idea of Moonblast plus protect the Bask. Did I protect the Bask last turn? No, I Aqua Jetted. So yeah, protect the Bask. Because if they Wave Crash the Clefable, they take the recoil to be put in range of Aqua Jet, and then that Aqua Jet plus Clanger Soul or Aura Spear wins the game. If they decide, hey, Clefable lived a Wave Crash. I didn't expect to live the Wave Crash. Okay. If they targeted the Basculegion slot, Moonblast went into the Basculegion, I won the game. That Moonblast also did a lot to King Gambit. Jeez. That actually did a lot more to that than I thought. Okay. And then I win the game with Wave Crash plus Follow Me. And I also have Como in the back, so I was good there. Okay, nice. They gave me the Frostlass turn 1, and you know what? That's exactly what I was hoping for, because Frostlass was one of the scariest mons. They thought they were safe with the Scarf Bask outspeeding my Rotom. Guess what? That is not going to be the case there. Alright, we have Eternal Floette, Garchomp, Talonflame, King Gambit, Sneasler, and Basculegion. Pretty classic around the board. Pretty classic. How am I approaching this matchup? I think I just want to go with Clefable plus Como lead. I'm only weak if they lead the Floette, but I think they're leading Talonflame Garchomp against my team. Talonflame Garchomp's just really strong. I don't need Rotom Heat, right? It's only good. Yeah, I don't need Rotom Heat in this matchup. I think it's Clefable Como. But the thing is, Como invites a Floette, and I don't want Floette coming in. But I do want to bring the Sand mode in this game, and if that's the case, I'm probably going to have to bring the Como. Because it's one of the better answers to... Yeah, I think I have to. Which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's alright. I need to pressure the Talonchomp lead, most likely, I think. So that's why I'm going to go with this combo. Talonchomp a little bit rough with Floette, but we'll see. Like any fairy. Talonflame Garchomp. Yep, that's to be expected. Versus Como Clefable. I wonder if they Tailwind or not. I don't think they're clicking Rock Slide at the very least. I think my best play is just to go for a Moonblast into the Garchomp slot and protect. Or Clang Scales. I might be willing to risk Como here. It's... I could follow me Clanger Soul, but the problem is that invites the Floette, which I think would be awful for me. So I think I'm just going to go for Clang Scales. I think Floette could easily come in here, but they didn't go Floette. So did they double attack here? Are they going for Earthquake plus Acro here, which would make sense to me? I think I would live, but we'll see. No, they Tailwind immediately. Okay, so I get the Garchomp, which would be really nice here, actually. Yeah, they Earthquaked. Okay, this is nice for me. I get the Gale Wings on the Talon, and I get the Garchomp, which is really nice. So here's Clang Scales. Good damage. And we also get a Moonblast off into the Garchomp. Unless they decide not to bring the Floette, but if it's not Floette back, I'm kind of curious on what's the back. I'm guessing it's like Basculegion and Floette as the last two. That's what I would imagine here. I'm curious how much damage the Clefable takes. Do I protect? Oh, Bass came in. What? Where's the Floette? Interesting. Is it no Floette back? Maybe it's Sneasler. Very interesting. Okay, my best play is to double protect though. Because I want to scout if it's Scarf Basculegion or not. Then I have options with like Clanging Scales. I could swap to T-Tar. T-Tar's actually a really good swap here. Acro into Como. Yep. So it's not Scarf Basculegion. I suspect the Clefable. I think my best play then is just to follow me with Clefable and click Clanger Soul. Yes. Because I have a really interesting endgame position I could go for. They go for Acro. Does Last Suspect even KO the Clefable? I'm going to be real. I don't think it does. They Wave Crash, but that's actually good for me because they take Recoil. Okay. As we get a Clanger Soul off. The game could be dicey, but it really depends on the last Pokemon. It really depends on the last Pokemon. Do I bring in Excadrill or do I bring in the Tyranitar? I think I go Tyranitar. And I'm okay with going for a Rock Slide here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide and protect. Because if the Talon doesn't protect, if they Wave Crash, it's completely okay. Because I just need to stall out this last or Tailwind that they have, and then my Como outspeeds their entire team in Clang Scales. So that's fine. I'm assuming if they had Float, they would have went Float earlier. So they don't have Float in this game, which is a really interesting decision. But we will protect Como. They Acro. Is this Wave Crash? That's fine. I get an Excadrill. Then I get a nice position where I can click Sword Stance plus Clang Scales, and they don't have a counterplay. So no matter what, like, this is a good spot. They also take, again, a bunch of recoil. Sure, they could Aqua Jet, but like at that point, it's still fine. Yeah, it's Citrus Berry Bass, which is not surprising. But after the Sand Chip, there's no way they live Clang Scales, I think, here. So we go out into Excadrill, we click Swords Dance. And Clang Scales. There's one play I guess I could see them have, But I just don't think it's Gambit back. I could see Sneasler back. I can't see Gambit back. Oh, by the way, the one play that they have access to is going Talonflame swaps out the King Gambit, protect the Basque. That's the play that they have, because then I'd have my defense lowered on Como. Then they have a Sucker Punch Aqua Jet chance and they can get a call, right? That's like the only line I could see them. Talon protects, so I think they just lose the game here. They jet the Excadrill, which is fine. As I do Swords Dance here. And Clang Scales, knock out the Basket Legion. What's the back? I also gotta remember I'm -1 defense. I really didn't think that would live. Well, they go down to Sand. But they could switch out Bass. Are they switching out Bass? I feel like they were trying to sack Bass, so it's probably Sneasler back. I think it has to be Sneasler back. We're gonna go for Clang Scales. Oh, that was kind of a blunder on my part. That was kind of a blunder on my part. Yeah, that was bad. I guess I should have Iron Head doubled. They protect, but Sand is going... Wait, what? Why would he protect there? Why would he not jet? This is not the last turn of Sand. Talonflame goes down. Why did they protect? Yeah, it's the last turn of Sand. They went down. Why didn't they just go for... Like, if you're gonna stay in, you might as well just jet one of my slots. Even just a Como would have made sense. It has to be Sneasler back, right? There's no way it's not Sneasler back. They actually brought King Gambit. Oh, Supreme Overlord. How much of a man are they? I'm Swords Dance protecting. The reason is I want to scout for a protect from Gambit. They're either going to Sucker Punch or they're going to protect a Scout for a slot. Well, they don't know if I have Earthquake, high horsepower or not. So I guess that's also a thing. They Sucker Punch, okay. You might be thinking why I'm doing this, but it's literally because I have to play Sucker Punch mind games with the Gambit, because if they protect Gambit and I Swords Dance, I lose the game. Although maybe, do I think Como... They have Supreme Overlord, so they have a bit of a boost. I'm -2 defense on the Como as well. It's last turn of Sand. You know what? I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna Swords Dance Clanger Soul, because I get a defense boost with Como. If they kowtow, they're a madman. I think they protect or they sucker again. I think they realize if I made that play, I'm probably Earthquake on the Excadrill and not high horsepower. Because if I have high horsepower, I'm clicking high horsepower or a spear. Like there's no reason why I wouldn't. Yeah. And a Sucker Punch, that works out. Also, we're stalling out the Sucker Punches, which is nice. So we go for a Swords Dance, and we get a Clanger Soul off. Sandstorm subsides. We get the Leftovers recovery. Now we double protect. I don't think they're gonna ever suck us. They're never clicking. Well, if they click protect here, it's a bit weird. Because I could have scouted to protect, but at this point, I'm just baiting them not to. Maybe I should just Aura Spirit Earthquake this turn, because I actually don't think they would ever protect this turn. Like, I don't think they're ever clicking it at this point. Yeah, they're just spamming Sucker. I definitely KO with both Pokemon. So how many Suckers was that? That was 2, 3? I'm miscounting. You know what? We'll finally lock it in. And if I messed up, I messed up. I think I should have Aura Spirit Earthquake the last turn. I actually think the Protect was kind of obvious here. Okay. No protect for the Gambit, so... That's why. That's why they were so insistent on clicking Sucker. Well, I got them this entire time with the big brain keep setting up because they didn't click Sucker. So that worked out. Well, here's the thing. If they suckered the Excadrill this turn, Aura Spear would have killed, would have brought this to Sash. I get Leftovers Recovery, I protect again, and then I think I'm out of Sucker Punch range. I think I'm still out of Sucker Punch range after just one Leftovers Recovery, realistically. So I think I would have won there. And if they attack Como, we were playing more Sucker Punch mind games, I suppose. I'm really surprised it was Gambit, though. I'm really surprised it was Gambit. But I guess, like, Bass was going to be a problem for them, I suppose. What the heck am I looking at? Lopunny, Corviknight, Sylveon, Dragapult, Tyranitar, Incineroar. Maybe I should send Disguised Toast this team. He loves Dragapult and he loves Mega Lopunny. Alright, what am I looking at here? Let's see. Sand mode is weak because of the Corviknight. The Corviknight's kind of a problem. Rotom Heat will be necessary so I can beat the Corviknight. I do like Como. I like Clefable. The question is, does Sylveon actually have a Fairy type move? Because a lot of them have been running like Calm Mind, or Helping Hand, Hyper Voice, Quick Attack. They usually don't run Moonblast or Dazzle. I think I'm going to do Como plus the... Is it Como Clefable lead? Or is it Como plus Rotom Heat? Rotom Heat scares away the Corviknight, which is not bad. I think it's Como Rotom with Clefable in the back, and I want to say it's Basculegion or Excadrill. Both aren't terrible here. I actually kind of like Excadrill. Yeah, I like Excadrill. Lopunny could be a little bit of an issue, but Mega Lopunny is fighting type, so normal fighting. I do have Moonblast and Aura Spear to deal with the Mega Lopunny, so it's not too bad. I can't even switch in with Basculegion because of Scrappy, so close combat actually affects the Basculegion. And if they lead something like this is actually pretty good for me, I'd say. Yeah, I like this a lot, actually. I'm going to go straight for the Clanger Soul with Como. Oh, did I outspeed Mega Lopunny? Mega Lopunny is like a few points. It's like very specific. Like this has a very specific speed tier. Do they run max speed though? My best play, I think, is just to overheat the Corviknight and go for a go for the Clanger Soul, because I should be able to either get the overheat or I get a boosted Como, which both are pretty decent here. We're gonna see the Mega Evolution from Lopunny. This could be Fake Out. I think overheat should knock out Corviknight, but it depends on how... Oh, they could be Akka Corviknight. Akka Corviknight's also Fake. Okay, they Fake Out, which is good. Okay, Fake Out into Rotom, as I do get the Clanger Soul. Even if they Brave Bird, I will have my defense boost, so I should live the Brave Bird. Yeah, they go for Brave Bird. Yeah, I do live. Okay. Super clutch. Super clutch survival there. Oh, it depends on how fast this Lopunny is, because I am max speed modest Como. I guess we'll find out together. Is Mega Lopunny faster? We'll find out together. I'm clicking Aura Spear and I'm clicking Overheat. If they have Quick Attack Mega Lopunny, I'm actually like so screwed. Okay, I am faster with Rotom, so I do get the Overheat off into Corviknight. So Corviknight goes down. Is Como faster than Lopunny? Because this is the big question. If I am, I'm in a great spot. If I'm not, yeah, that's terrible. Okay, I am faster than Mega Lopunny. Cool. So I get the Aura Spear off into Mega Lopunny. Goodbye, Mega Lopunny. All right, that's good. I know I'm not outspeeding Dragapult though with Como. That's like the one issue with Como. It does not outspeed Dragapult. So let's see what they have in the back. But that's a great start. Corviknight was one of the biggest pains to get rid of. Sylveon coming in and Dragapult. Okay. I think this is pretty good. Especially with Excadrill back. I think all I need is just damage in general against their team. So I'm going to go for... protect with my Como, and I'm gonna go for an Overheat and a Sylveon. Yeah, Overheat and Sylveon's fine. I'm not sure what Dragapult can accomplish. I don't know what it's gonna run. I want to put the Sylveon into range of Iron Head from Excadrill. They have Quick Attack. Okay, I'm glad I scouted for it. Yep, as I said before, they've been running Quick Attack recently for the priority because there are a lot of Focus Sashes in this format. Overheat. Ooh, I got a big crit on the Sylveon. Not like it really matters. I'm just trying to put an Iron Head range. Maybe if it's leftovers, definitely it would matter. Oh. I'm not really concerned about that, though. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. Because I have Clefable in the back, and I have Excadrill. So now I need to break a Sash on Dragapult. Does Quick Attack KO Como at this range? It is 4 times effective, but I actually have no clue. Because they run Modest Sylveon, so they lower the attack. Sylveon's attack stats not that high. It's quad resisted. Okay, they just go for the darts here. I think I lock here. Yeah, I think I lock. I overheat. Break a Sash. Like, all I have to do is just break Sash, get chip damage on everything. That's basically all I've been trying to get. They go for Calm Mind. Okay. The problem is I want Rotom to go down. Now it's a little bit tricky. We're going to go Excadrill here. This might have been a mistake. I should have thought about this turn more. Was it better to go Clefable? The question is, are you going to Phantom Force with Dragapult? You're not going to Hyper Voice with Sylveon because I could just Iron Head to Sylveon. Actually, wait, is my best play just to Iron Head anyway? It might be just Iron Head swap to Clefable. Unit Day Dragon Darts, that's fine. Actually, no, I like this play. Because Dragon Ball doesn't really get many good physical moves. It doesn't get a good physical ghost move. It has to only run Phantom Force. So I think I go Clefable here. As they protect Sylveon. I imagine this is going to be Phantom Force into the Excadrill slot. Yes, okay. So I think I got them on the ropes. Because now what I can do is I can swap out Excadrill. I think they're going to hope to Quick Attack and Phantom Force the Excadrill. They were trying to leave Rotom around because Rotom wasn't doing that much. And I'm going to Moonblast the Dragapult. I should have +1 Phantom Force with Clefable easily. And I just have to sack my Rotom Heat because Excadrill beats the Sylveon. So this is kind of the goal. They're going to get a Phantom Force and probably Quick Attack and Excadrill to cover for Sash Excadrill. And hope that I just don't have Follow Me with the Clefable. My best play here is just to go for a Moonblast. And that's kind of weakness of Dragapult in this format because it can go through Protect with Phantom Force, but it takes a few turns to charge. And it makes it vulnerable. So yeah, they did go for the Quick Attack Phantom Force play. This is why I was a bit scared of going Excadrill, but I think it actually worked out because it baited this line. And I'm glad I decided to switch out Rotom. If they went for Hyper Voice, it could be annoying, but I didn't think they were going to give me the free switch. So beautiful. As I do get the Moonblast off into the Dragapult. This should easily KO. Yeah, goodbye Dragapult. Whew, okay, goodbye Dragapult. And now we get to go for Excadrill in, Iron Head to Sylveon, Moonblast to Sylveon, GG, as the battle is going to be forfeited. So very happy with how that worked out. I mean, I did kind of risk. I don't actually know if Como is guaranteed faster than the Mega Lopunny. I guess let me look at it. Mega Lopunny, what do you hit? Mega Lopunny, what is your speed stat? Because I know it's like 138. It's like something obscure when it Mega Evolves. Oh no, it's only 135. What Mega am I thinking? Okay, so I was guaranteed to outspeed then. Yeah, I'm guaranteed to outspeed Mega Lopunny. Okay. Or actually, no, I'm not. No, I am not always able to outspeed Mega Lopunny because Mega Lopunny hits 205 and Como, I think, is 1 point slower with boost. Actually, it's a speed tie. It's a speed tie. We both hit 205, so it could have been a speed tie or they could have just been not max speed, which maybe you can run because you can invest a little bit extra in the bulk, which is reasonable, but yeah. All right, we got Sneasler, Sylveon, Eternal Floette, Talonflame, King Gambit, and Basculegion. Sand looks really good here. Sand looks really good. I don't love Como on this. Is there a reason not? Okay, what other counter lead to Tyranitar Excadrill? Probably Sneasler Talonflame, right? I'm just gonna lead Tyranitar Excadrill. I think Tyranitar Excadrill is generally a fine lead for the most part. I think Clefable for sure. My only question is, am I bringing Rotom Heat or am I bringing Basculegion back? Rotom Heat is faster than a Scarf Basculegion, but I don't know if this is gonna be Scarf on this team. I could definitely be in like more of a Sash or Citrus Berry set on theirs. I feel like Rotom is the best overall. I think it's Rotom. I think Rotom switches to Hyper Voice, switches into the Dazzling Gleam. Also interesting to see Sylveon plus the Eternal Floette on the same team. All right, let's see what they got. You're gonna lead Sneasler Basculegion. Okay. Interesting. Versus Tyranitar Excadrill. This is pretty alright here. Although I don't have a Wave Crash switch. I don't have a Wave Crash switch. I think my best play is just to double protect to break a Sash, and if they try to switch in Talonflame, it doesn't hurt too much. Yeah, no, I think double protect is right. Because also some Sneaslers can be invested to live Earthquake from Excadrill. A lot of them are going physically defensive, so it could live Earthquake from Excadrill if I don't protect here. Don't faint if you have faint. Well, that ended up going pretty bad. I should have just went for knockoff. Maybe I should have. There's something suspicious about this lead. Is it winnable? Yes. Is it winnable? Yes. I need Volt Switch to KO the Basque here. The Basque is Scarf. It outsped the Sneasler, so it shouldn't be bulky. Okay. I can win this game. It's just looking really, really bad because I lost my Fairy Answer turn 1. Sometimes, like, the Feint option will get you on ladder, but there's not much you can do. Do I need Tyranitar? Probably. I'm just gonna go for a Rock Slide and a Volt Switch. I guess I could try to cover King Gambit coming in, but at this point I kind of need everything. I'm gonna Volt Switch. They retreat Bass, that makes sense. Into Floette. Okay, so I'll get good damage on a Floette, and I have Chapel Berry, and I live the close combat from the Sneasler, so this isn't awful. It's just not great. Is this game winnable? Sure. It is definitely winnable. We bring out Clefable. They go for close combat. I will activate my Chapel Berry. Yep, I do live the close combat. There also looks like max attack Sneasler. It looked really high. They have a lot of attack at least. Rock Slide, good damage. Did they activate a White Herb? They did, right? Or did I not see the White Herb? If they didn't activate the White Herb, this actually changes the game immensely. Wait, there is no White Herb. Doable then. Okay. So my best play is to just protect sack the Tyranitar here to probably the Dazzling Gleam, and I'm gonna Mega Evolve Protect because then I have my Magic Guard to prevent the sand from taking chip damage here. Alright, it's Mega Evolve with the Floette. I need Volt Switch to KO this Sneasler at -1 or -2, depending on how the situation goes. I also needed to KO the Basculegion. Alright, we protect the Clefable. They Dire Claw and Dazzling Gleam, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So Tyranitar goes down. Is it better to Electroweb here? I want to say no, because it might be Gambit in the back. I need Volt Switch to KO this Sneasler. It doesn't seem like it's bulky Sneasler though. So we bring out Rotom. We Volt Switch the Sneasler and we Moonblast the Floette. Wonder what they're gonna do with the Floette. Is it just Moonblast or are they gonna Dazzle and Gleam? It's a tough spot. It's a winnable game though. Volt Switch KOs the Sneasler. Okay, that gives us a chance. Depends on the back though. Dazzle and Gleam. Okay. I think Rotom lives Aqua Jet at the very least. So it could be a call if it's Gambit back. Goodbye Floette. Do I also think it's Low Kick or do I think it's Iron Head on the Gambit as well if it's Gambit back? That's going to be a question. I think I should live Aqua Jet with the Rotom. The question is the King Gambit. Basculegion. Oh, it's Talonflame. Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can't they just follow me Volt Switch? We know it's Scarf Basculegion. It outsped the Sneasler based on the sand damage earlier. So they're going to Tailwind and Wave Crash, right? Or they Aqua Jet Acro, which is also fair. They do Tailwind. This is Wave Crash, and then they take a bunch of recoil. Or Last Respect, I guess. Last Respect makes sense. I think you still go down to Volt Switch, though. And then it's Talon versus Rotom. And the question is, does Rotom 1v1 to Talon? Because I actually don't know after taking the recoil. Sand. Oh, wait. Is this the last turn Sand? No! No! I thought that would KO the Basque. I thought that would KO the Basque. Dang it, this is where not having T-Bolt really hurts. It's over. Let's see what the flying move is on the Talonflame, I guess. Acro, yeah. Let's see how much this did. Okay, I did win the game if there was one more turn of Sand or if I had KO'd the Basculegion, assuming there were no crits. That's frustrating. That actually was a close one. That was actually a winnable one too. That was actually winnable, which was shocking. Oh. And I think I lose if I Moonblast. Yeah. Well, if they Wave Crash the Rotom, I Moonblast the Basque. I don't think Clefable 1v1's the Talonflame. Maybe it can. Because 2 Air Slashes, but Acro's decently powerful in a Clefable. I have good defense, but I don't think it's enough. No, I think I had to follow me Volt Switch, yeah. So I made every play that I could make and position it well, I think. I just need the Volt Switch to KO the Basque, but Basque is a ridiculous Pokemon. Alright, we have Incineroar, Charizard, Rotom, Wash, Aegislash, Eternal Float, and Garchomp. I'm curious if there's a Scarfmon on this team. Eyeing the Rotom right now, but I'm not 100% certain. Curious if they bring the Charizard to Eternal Float, because I could see either or. I'm thinking of leading either Rotom Heat Excadrill or Clefable lead immediately. Both aren't bad here. I want to say I probably don't bring Basque. It's not that great in this matchup. I think I need Excadrill in case they bring the Floette because the Floette is just so difficult. Yet I think when they see Excadrill, I mean the thing is if they think I have Rock Slide on the Excadrill, it's still tough. They're definitely bringing Rotom Wash, I think. I think Rotom Wash and Garchomp are really solid. I think Incineroar is good. Aegislash is okay as well. The question is what Mega to bring, because I think both are really viable here. If they're scared of Como, they should bring the Eternal Floette. If they're scared of Weather, then they should bring the Charizard. But even then, Charizard's not like crazy here. I think I do Rotom into... Maybe Rotom I think it's Rotom Clefable lead with Excadrill Tyranitar back. I think this is okay. Because if they lead Floette, I could toss the Tyranitar to get in the Sand because I don't need it for the Weather War anymore. As long as I can KO Clefable within the first couple of turns because then it becomes ugly. Okay, they lead Incineroar Floette. That's all right. As we lead Clefable and Rotom Heat. I'm going for a Volt Switch. I'm going for a Volt Switch into the Floette, and I'm actually going to go for a Moonblast into the... I want to go for the Instant or the Floette. I kind of want to get damage on the Floette to put in range of Iron Head Guarantee. Yeah, I think I'm going to... I just want damage on the Floette to put in range of Iron Head Guarantee. I think this is always Fake Out plus an attack here from the Floette. Unless they want to Calm Mind here. I think Calm Mind's also fair, but that means it's vulnerable to the Excadrill once it comes in. I hope they don't double a slot with Flare Blitz specifically, but I should be alright. Mega Clefable, we do get our Mega Evolution. I gotta be careful against the Garchomp though. The Garchomp could be problematic. They Fake Out the Rotom, that makes sense, okay. What are they doing with the Floette? Dazzling Gleam, okay. Does a lot, but this Moonblast will actually hurt. Like, the Moonblast does a good amount of damage. Yeah, that's pretty good damage. And a special attack drop, which I'll definitely take, okay. I would really want to toss my Tyranitar here. And I want to keep Clefable around. Do I think they're going to Flare Blitz to Rotom? I just don't think so. Maybe Darkest Lariat, but I'm going to go for Volt Switch into the Incineroar, and I'm going to protect the Clefable. I could see Moonblast into the Clefable slot, or Protect as well, so this is perfect. If this is Parting Shot, this is super ideal. I get a Volt Switch off into the Incin, and get Excadrill in safely, hopefully. Because then I'm willing to Earthquake my own T-Tar. So yeah, we'll go into Excadrill. Or maybe I shouldn't Earthquake my own Tyranitar. Maybe not. They did Parting Shot out my Clef. Okay, good. I feel like Rotom could switch in easily though for any of these slots. Maybe it's just Protect a Scalp for the Rotom. I feel like Rotom comes in. I just don't know into which position. I think I switch in T-Tar here. They retreat the Floette. I feel like Rotom makes so much sense there. Or Aegislash. Wait, if they went Aegislash, I could have EQ'd. Dang it. Although this could be Shucka Instant, I guess. I don't know. I think with Rotom, I don't think you are. With Rotom Charizard, I just doubt it. But we'll see. I do protect the Excadrill. They did Flare Blitz the Excadrill. Okay. Do they not have Rotom? Because not having Rotom's kind of crazy to me. What's their last stand? Garchomp? Because they're scared of Clefable. It might be Garchomp. Or at least how they're playing it. Do I need Rotom Heat around anymore? I think Rotom's done its job. Because I would rather be able to get like a knockoff or Rock Slide here. Break a Sash on Aegislash if it's Sash on it. And I do kind of want to get a Rock Slide off for damage. Let's see. Because I would like to put the Excadrill in guaranteed Earthquake range. So I'll be willing to sack Rotom here. They do retreat the Incineroar on potential Earthquake. Garchomp comes in. Okay, yeah, no Rotom. They King Shield, so at least I get the most amount of damage. This is actually good. I do get the chip into the Garchomp, okay. I'm curious what they go for because they don't have an Earthquake switch. They brought like they brought none of their ground immunities against Excadrill, which is kind of crazy to me. I could trick the Garchomp so it makes it easier to play against. Or I could overheat the Aegislash, but I think Incineroar is coming in anyway. Actually, if I choice lock them into... Well, they're not earthquaking. That's the thing. I don't think they're earthquaking. I think I'm just going to go for a rock slide, overheat into the Aegis Slash. Because unless they wide guard, that's fine. It's Scarf Chomp anyway, so this actually was the best case. All right, perfect. No, that's a bad... Oh, Akaberry. I was about to say, I missed, but Akaberry... Weird item on Aegis Slash. You don't see that one too often. Okay. Aegis Slash is faster than my Tyranitar, but that's not too surprising. Close combat, but I have Chople Berry. I should live this, because I live Sneasler at close combat, even with the Rock Slide chip. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Please get the Rock Slide. Please. Well, I guess it's Akka, so it's not that bad. The Chomp is weakened. Yeah, this is decent. Because what's stopping me from... Well, actually, no. I'm still in with these Pokemon, which is the annoying part. Need damage on the Garchomp. They're going to go instant probably here. For the Aegis Slash and Rock Slide again. I think this spot is alright. I need to keep Tyranitar around for the sand now. Since it's been able to live attacks. We're gonna see... Did they actually risk me overheating the Aegis Slash? Well, I guess like a Tyranitar survives a Rock Slide, which I think it does, then that's kind of bad for them. But I mean, at this point, like, this is still decent. If it's close combat, it's probably close combat Shell Sneak Iron Head? Or maybe, yeah. If they have both, there's no way you don't have Shadow Sneak as ghost coverage. I'm going into Excadrill here. And we're throwing off the Earthquake and swapping out T-Tar to keep the weather. How many turns of sand are left? 1, which is perfect because I can reset it. All right, we're going for the Earthquake. We're swapping into Clefable. Maybe I should have Swords. Actually, I should have Swords Dance. No, I can't Swords Dance in this position. They might. I think they Shadow Sneak with the Aegis Slash and switch Garchomp out into Incin. That's probably their play. Yeah. To break my Sash on the Excadrill. I still think that this is pretty decent though. I still think this is a pretty decent spot. It depends on what they lock into with the Garchomp though. All right, Clefable in. Yep, they Shadow Sneak to break Sash. That made sense. I almost debated about his Swords Dancing, but it doesn't really matter here too much because I might have to switch out anyway. Earthquake is going to do good damage on all of these Pokemon. It is Shucka Instant actually. Wow. Good damage on both. Okay, this is close. This is really close. Sandstorm subsides. Garchomp or Floette? Both make sense here. Garchomp. Here's the thing, you can't Earthquake in this spot. I think it's just Protect. I think it's double Protect here. I want to say it's not double Protect. I want to say it's just Moonblast the Garchomp slot and Protect Excadrill. Because I'm trying to think about, like, okay, is this a bait here? Are they going to double out into, like, the turn of Floette? I could see it. I'm going to Moonblast. Yeah, they did actually go into Floette. Okay, I did actually get this play right. If I get the knockout in the Garchomp, I win. Oh. Okay. Clefable? Clefable clutch. Moonblast gonna KO the Garchomp, and I win the game because I can go Tyranitar and sack Tyranitar. Oh, that's so clutch. Well, I guess I don't guarantee win the game because the Floette could still do Floette things, but I should. I have a really good spot. So we go out on a Tyranitar, and I think we protect with our Clefable. And sack here. I think the Floette is in range of Well, here's the thing. I can Iron Head the Floette and I can Moonblast Incineroar. That also kind of works. Or do I want to Earthquake? I feel like Earthquake might knock out Floette, especially after the sand damage, but it might be Iron Head Moonblast is the better play. They Dazzle, perfect. Actually, is it Iron Head Follow Me? It might be Iron Head No, it's Iron Head Follow Me, actually. Iron Head Follow Me is always the play, yeah. Because if I'm worried if Floette lives the Earthquake at 38%, which maybe if it's bold it can. Wait, isn't this thing's ability Magic Guard? They forfeit. Oh, Excadrill came in clutch. Excadrill came in so clutch. Okay, the sand mode was perfect there. The sand mode really did wonders. So how was the team? Well, Mega Clefable, again, it's definitely an interesting Mega. It might be actually worth the secondary Mega slot. I could have had, of course, 3 different Mega Evolutions with Excadrill and Tyranitar, but I don't think Mega Clefable is that bad. The damage actually was pretty impressive. The natural bulk that you just get from Mega Evolution kind of helps out a lot. It's just such a weird Mega choice because, again, I think if you're going for a sweeper mode, you definitely want Gardevoir or you want Eternal Floette. But as a support Mega, like we used Scovillain before on the channel, it actually wasn't that bad. It was able to actually put in some work. The Air Slash and Moonblast were hitting pretty hard, and Clefable really was able to tank attacks. Even though I wasn't like max invested into defenses, it was able to do a good amount of damage while tanking the attacks, which is actually really solid here, especially for the coverage that I did appreciate for it. Again, the Moonblast and the Garchomp, the Air Slash and the Sneasers, those hurt pretty hard. If you'd like to try out the team, you could grab it with the replica code right here. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. And why not check out more of the videos on the channel, because we are trying out so many different Mega Evolutions, especially the brand new ones. Why not check out, for instance, the recent Mega Hawlucha team that we featured that was built by a world champion as the next video.